we are going to talk about the relationship between Mahabharatam and Srimad Bhagavatam. Relationship because they are related, they happen at the same time, and both are centered around Krishna in Bhagavata and the 5 Pandavas in Mahabharata. Krishna actually is the central character in both. Now let us see what are all the things in common. First of all, they were both written by Vedavyasa. Vedavyasa's actual name was Krishna. He was named Krishna at birth. And because he was born in a Dweep, in an island, he was called Krishna Dvaipayana. But in his adulthood, the first most important work he did was dividing Vedas, which were all mixed up in a huge volume, unmanageable volume. Vedavyasa sorted them and divided them into Rik, Yeju, Sama and Atharva, the 4 Vedas. And from then onwards, they were learned within that grouping. And from then onwards, he was called Vedavyasa, one who did the division of Vedas, Vedavyasa. Krishna, he was also known as Krishna Dvaipayana. And Vedavyasa, in what order he wrote all those things we don't know, but he did write Bharatam, which is considered an Itihasam, not a Purana. And he also wrote 18 Mahapuranas, the famous 18 Puranas. Something is called Purana if they have a particular structure. It is called Sargascha, Pratisargascha, Vamsho, Manvantaranicha, Vamshanu Kathanancheva. 5 qualities which all those 18 have. He wrote all those 18 Puranas, he did the division of Vedas, he also wrote Mahabharatam, plus he did a very important work, it was called Brahmasutram. Brahmasutram is the central theory of the Vedantas, the philosophies, Upanishads and all that. He, even after doing such a voluminous work, he was still not happy. He didn't get the feeling, yes, he has done what was expected of him. He said, something is missing. What is that? He couldn't place it. So he approached Srinarada Maharshi and asked him, I have this particular feeling. I don't know why I feel not satisfied, contented. Narada Maharshi smiled and said, don't worry, that you write the story of Krishna from the perspective, from the viewpoint of devotion, bhakti. It must be rich in the bhakti rasa, in the devotional spirit. Reading that, the one who reads that should automatically get involved in bhakti. He must automatically become a bhakta, devotee of Krishna. And Vedavyasa thought there is a point in it, because in Bharata, though it was the story of Krishna, it was written in a matter of fact way. So he wrote the story of Krishna from the birth. In fact, not from the birth, starting with the 8 births of Mahavishnu, Avatara of Mahavishnu, before Krishna. And they were known as Matsya, Kurmo, Varahascha, Narasimhascha, Vamana, Ramascha, Krishna, Kalki, Dasha, Kramal. There's 10 avatars in order. And the last one, Kalki, is yet to come. And Malsya we know, Kurma we know, Varaha we know, Narasimha we know, Vamana we know. Then 3 Ramas. First Rama was Parashurama, the second was Sri Rama, the third was Balarama. Ramo, Ramascha, then Krishna, and then Kalki. So he briefly wrote the 8 avatars before Krishna and Krishna avatara in detail. So starting from the first skandha, by the time Krishna was born, it was the 10th, 11th Ekadasha skandham. So it goes into Krishna's birth, the childhood pranks, his play with other gopas. Then when, in his teens, when he was asked by his uncle Kamsa into his palace with the intention of killing Krishna and Rama, actually Krishna took that opportunity to put an end to Kamsa's life because he was a tyrant. He had imprisoned his parents. He has killed his Krishna's 7 earlier brothers and sisters, and Krishna himself had to go into hiding into Gokulam, into the house of Nanda Gopa. So Krishna killed Kamsa there and went into the prison, released his parents prostrated before them, and he handed over the kingdom to the rightful heir, which was Ugrasena, Krishna's grand uncle, Devaki's father. And Bhagavata, apart from storytelling, it is rich in the theory of bhakti, of devotion, various aspects, how one can get into bhakti. Just by reading that, one becomes fully immersed in bhakti. That is how it is written. It's a wonderful, wonderful work. Actually, Bhagavata stories are because they are of the Krishna's early childhood stories. They are appropriate to children in the age group 5 plus, whereas Bharata is for later years. And that is Bhagavata, how Bhagavata is. Bharata starts, of course, as we know, of the birth of the 5 Pandavas and the 100 Kauravas and a little bit of their ancestry, and then it goes into their childhood plays and quarrels and fights, and which ended up into the great war Mahabharata, in which Pandavas fought against Kauravas. Kaurava army was much stronger, almost double the size of Pandavas. But in spite of that, because of the crucial role played by Krishna, Krishna was very shrewd in foreseeing what is to be done, what is the consequence. And also because of the valor of mainly Krishna and Bhima. Finally, the war was won by the Pandavas. The Kauravas were all annihilated. Yudhishthira got the kingdom. He ruled famously for over 30 years, and they decided to retire to the forest. In fact, they started walking towards the Himalayas, and on the way, one by one, they all fell down and perished and ascended to heaven. That is how the Bharata story ends. And the kingdom was inherited by Parikshit, who was Arjuna's grandson. And Parikshit was a very talented very talented and committed ruler, and he ruled famously for 60 years and then end with the tragic death which we said in a story, the end of Parikshit. That is all about the comparison between the two. Bharata, both are written by Vedavyasa, no doubt. Bharata has got over 100,000 verses, stanzas of poetry, whereas Bhagavata is 24,000 stanzas. The Bhagavata verses are little more complicated, more difficult to understand, not only because of the language, because of the depth of the content. It's not straightforward to understand Bhagavata shlokas, whereas Bharata is more straightforward. And that's